Do the Buffalo Sabres need to add more physicality? Find out coming up. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video of Sports Talk Buffalo. So, do the Buffalo Sabres need to add more physicality to their lineup before we head in to next season? And the simple answer, of course, is yeah, of course they do. All you have to do is look at the most recent game against the Florida Panthers, and it is incredibly clear that this Buffalo Sabres team, as it is currently constructed, is way too soft. The Sabres in this game were bullied all game long, and this has happened multiple times this season, and there was little to no pushback by this Buffalo Sabres team. When we talk about soft teams and physicality, the Sabres don't really have any. And everyone believed that Jordan Greenway, just because he was 6'6" and 220 plus pounds, was going to come in and be this physical monster. Well, they didn't really do their research on Jordan Greenway. He was never really going to be that player. He is more physical than a lot of the players that we do have, and he currently sits in 5th place, I believe, for the Buffalo Sabres in terms of hits this season. But he's not even close to being the most physical Buffalo Sabre. And in this game, you saw it multiple times against the Florida Panthers that the Sabres were getting bullied on multiple occasions near the net. I saw Peyton Krebs get literally punched in the face multiple times, and no Sabre came to help, and Peyton Krebs didn't help himself. Nobody stood up for him, and he didn't stand up for himself. The same thing happened to Casey Middlestad. Casey Middlestad punched. Nothing happens. Nobody stands up for him. And he doesn't stand up for himself. They just take it. I saw Dylan Cousins get body slammed. Nobody was over the edge about it. Nobody wanted to go after the Florida Panthers about it. They just took it. That happened on multiple occasions in this game. The Buffalo Sabres need a little bit of pushback so that they are not bullied and manhandled on a regular basis. Teams do not fear playing the Buffalo Sabres. They know that it is not going to be physically taxing to play this Sabres team. And they know that they're going to have all the space that they need in order to take care of business against this Buffalo Sabres roster. Now, it wasn't just the chippy play where this Buffalo Sabres team, of course, got bullied, even though they were out-hit 41-21 in this game, or they were out-hit 41-21 in this game. So it wasn't just the chippy play in front of the net. It was the entire game. It was between the whistles also. And they got beat up all game long. 41-21 hits in this game. They were also completely outplayed, outshot for a majority of this game. And the fact that it was only a 3-2 game is incredible because UPL, once again, had an incredible performance. Without him in net, or with him playing the way he did last year, this game is easily a 4-5 goal differential. Easily. The Sabres were outplayed. I know the shots were only 37-30, but they were outplayed all game long. They were beat up along the boards. They were beat up in front of the net. They were beat up in front of their own net. They were beat up in front of the opposite net. It was just a massacre pretty much from start to finish. And again, little to no pushback. The Sabres currently rank 25th at the time of this video in hits in the entire NHL, with just a shade over 20 hits per game. Now, I know it doesn't always correlate. However, this season, it definitely does. As you look at the top 10 teams in hits in the NHL, 9 of them are in a playoff spot. But physicality is more than just hitting. And a lot of people seem to get that confused. A lot of, more new age fans who like the wide open style seem to get it confused that physicality just needs to be about hitting and that we just need a guy to run people through the boards. That ain't it. It's so much more than that. They lack physicality in all areas of the game. For example, the Sabres rarely drive the net and create chaos. If they do drive the net, it's only one guy driving the net, and it's a one and done. You don't have one guy driving the net, and then the guy behind him driving the net, and then the third guy driving the net to create chaos. You very rarely see chaos in front of the opposing goaltender, where guys need to be cleared out and there's a ton of confusion. You very rarely see greasy goals, tip-in goals, rebound goals from this Buffalo Sabres team. It just doesn't happen. There's a lack of physicality. There's a lack of physicality, again, around both nets. The Sabres allow themselves to get boxed out in front of the opposing net very easily. They've done a little bit better job of getting in front of the net of late. However, they still don't do a good enough job doing it. There's little to no traffic. There's only like 2 or 3 guys that are willing to go to the front of the net for this Buffalo Sabres team. And in front of their own net, they lack any sort of physicality also. Very rarely do they tie up sticks and clear guys out in a scramble. They all stand there and watch it and they all try to poke away at the puck instead of just taking their guy and taking him out of the play so that they can control the play and get the puck out of the zone. If you watch them, a lot of guys are just standing next to their guy. They're not even picking up their guy. That's a lack of physicality for this Buffalo Sabres team. They also lack the ability to stand up to other teams' physical play. There is no threat of repercussion. Again, you look at this Florida Panthers, the most recent game against the Florida Panthers, and it is abundantly clear. The Florida Panthers did not fear any sort of repercussion. So they manhandled this Buffalo Sabres team. They bullied them all game long. And I'm not saying that the Sabres need to go out and pick up Ryan Reeves, who's going to play 5 minutes a game and really not add any value other than maybe going out there and fighting a guy every once in a while, okay? Unfortunately, those days are dead. I was a big fan of those days, but those days are unfortunately gone and buried. The Buffalo Sabres need to add a guy, multiple guys, like a Marcus Foligno, right? A Marcus Foligno, a big, thick, physical power forward who can hit, who can chip in offensively, who can play on the penalty kill, and he can also stand up for his teammates when it is needed. He adds a level of physicality and intimidation and energy on a night when the Sabres might not have it. That's another thing that the Sabres sorely lack. That's another thing that comes with physicality. A physical game, a more emotional game, can help wake your guys up, get them more invested in the game. We've seen far too many times where the Sabres have looked just completely disinterested in the game. And if you add a couple of guys to the third and fourth line that are going to go out and bang around some bodies, maybe get in a fight, have some chippy play, and get involved and get other guys involved in the game, that adds the energy to the game. That makes you want to be better in that game. Something the Sabres lacked in a lot of games this season. Another thing physicality does is it opens up the ice for your more skilled players. It does. People will like to say, no, it doesn't. But let's say you're a defenseman and you are fearing that the guy coming in to forecheck you is going to run you through the boards, you might make that pass a little bit more quickly. Maybe it's not as crisp. Maybe you fan on it. Whatever the case may be, Or maybe you just freeze, you hold it too long, you get body checked, and the Sabres take the puck away. Whatever the case may be, right? You close down the ice for the opposing team and you open up ice for your more talented guys. That is being physical. Physicality can bring a lot of different things to this Buffalo Sabres team. It can. And if you don't think so, you want to call me a dinosaur or whatever the case may be, look at the top teams in the NHL. They have a well-balanced team. They are physical. They can score, they can skate, and yes, they will fight. Every one of them. Every single one of them. That is something the Buffalo Sabres don't have. The Sabres are built like the Toronto Maple Leafs of the past, all skill, no grit. They're just going to try to, last season, they were just going to try to outscore you and see where the cards fall. This season, they tried to play a more defensive style, and it blew up in their face completely because they didn't have the players to play that style. You look at a team, and I keep saying it, and I'll always say it, is you look at a team like the Vegas Golden Knights. They have a good balance of speed, skill, size, and physicality. They have a deep team that can roll all four lines, and they'll all be physical with you. They will all outskate you. They will all outwork you along the boards. And they will outplay you in every aspect of the game. They are a solidly built roster. The Sabres have too many of the same type of players. Very soft perimeter players who simply want to toe drag, dangle, and stay on the outside. Nobody who wants to drive the net. Nobody who's willing to take a beating to go to the front of the net, get the greasy goals for this Buffalo Sabres team. Nobody really willing to take a hit to make a play. Nobody willing to take that beating that is necessary sometimes to win games in the NHL. Overall, yeah, the Sabres lack a ton of physicality. And they have for many, many years. And I think over the course of an 82-game season, that type of balance will help the Sabres finally get back to the NHL playoffs. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I try to answer every single comment that you guys leave. Also, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a video. I talk Bills, Sabres, and the University at Buffalo men's basketball and football teams right here on this page. And as always, have a fantastic week.